Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited, so excited. Today I wanted to carry on. I've been thinking about some of the things that a lot of the women that I've been mentoring, a lot of them that their struggles. And one of the things that keeps coming up again and again, and I keep seeing it, so I decided we're going to talk about it today. And that's our values. And it's amazing how many times we will basically we'll compromise our values for somebody else. We compromise our beliefs, our values to please somebody else, or to make somebody else feel better, or to make it so that it's less that it's not as uncomfortable. When you walk into, let's say one of your values is not drinking. Well, when you walk into a bar, people are going to naturally try to get you to drink. But you're going to feel uncomfortable. Well, there's two things about that. You either don't go to the bar, or you establish your values up excuse me. You establish your values up front, and you say, you know, even though I'm not going to drink, I'm still going to go into the bar. Or you could compromise your values and say, I'm going to drink. I know that it's not what I normally do, but I'm going to go ahead and drink because it feels uncomfortable not drinking. So we need to decide on our values. And so there's three areas I want to break this up into, but we're going to talk about one today. And that our area is your personal values. So in our life, we've been raised up in different areas of your life, and there may be some values that you're like, I don't really believe in that or follow that anymore, or not. And there's other areas that it's like, no, this is definitely one of my values. This is definitely something that I believe in and I'm going to hold strong to. Well, that is the first part, is we need to, I got my cheat sheet again. So I realized that one of the things that I needed to do is to create some order and to help stabilize a structure so that then everybody can follow along easier. So even though I don't come with perfect script in the sense, I don't come in with specifically what I'm going to talk about or have it pre-written, I do kind of rough out a framework now. So the idea will come to me, then I'll sit down and I'll break it down into the framework. And so the framework of this is like a personal values, others' values, and a shared values. But we're going to focus on personal values today. So with values, first we need to understand what they are. What are our values? What are your own values? And first we need to describe a value. A value is something that really identifies who you are. It identifies your character. It identifies your beliefs. It identifies what you're going to hold to when times get tough, when there's a struggle. The values help to stabilize and set a foundation so that you can build upon it. So first we need to know what our values are. Then we need to be able to define our values. We need to know exactly what that means. If I say I'm not going to drink, does that mean that I don't drink at all? Does that mean I only drink at dinner time? Does that mean I drink? We need to define our values. You need to know exactly where you're at. You need to know exactly where you stand. You need to be able to say, look at somebody in the face and say, I do or I do not believe this, without any hesitation. One of my values is I do not drink. And I have been in situations where people have tried to get me to drink, and I just look them in the eye and I say, I do not drink. It's not because of my spiritual beliefs. It's because of my beliefs. It's because of what I hold strong to. Yes, my upbringing influenced that, but I still had to decide for myself. So you need to define for yourself your values. What does that mean? So that then when you're put in that situation that is going to test whether your values or not, when you're put in that situation, then you can look at them and say, no, this is where I stand. So I'm going to adjust the camera. I just realized some people might not be able to see this a bit. There we go, a little bit better. Okay, so once you've defined it, once you know what your values are and you've defined them, then that takes us to the next step, and we need to be able to understand them. You need to understand your values. Understand why you stand for that. So you've already know what it is. Now you've defined it. Now you need to understand, why is it that I believe such and such, or why is it I will do this or that? Why is it? And when you can understand it, then you can be even that much more powerful, that much stronger in supporting and maintaining your values. And this is critical. We have to know what we need to define, and then we need to understand our value system so that we can hold to them. Then after we understand them, then that takes them to the very next step, which is to follow them. We need to follow our values. And a value is something that's going to make it who you are. It defines who you are. And so if you set a value that, oh yeah, I'm not going to drink, but then you go to the bar and you drink, well, is that really a value then? No, it's not. You're not following it. It is not a stable foundation for you. So you need to understand it and then follow it. So after you follow it, then that's going to bring you to the next step again, which is, what is my next values? What is the next thing that I want to implement into my life that's going to help take me to the next level? So let's just recap really quick. We've got, first, what are our values? Second, define our values. Know what they are. Know what that means. Third, understand your values. And then fourth is to follow and implement those values into your life so that they really truly become part of who you are. They identify you and they don't sway. They don't, a win comes or a struggle comes, it doesn't get compromised. Those are your values. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, how do you really figure out your values? How do you know it's your value versus, what you were taught as a child or something? That is part of the challenge that you have to face, is then you go through this process to really define. So if you were told not to drink growing up, define what that means. Do you believe that? Is that something that if push came to shove and you had to stand strong on it, would you stand strong on it? If you're out with a group of people and everybody's enjoying a drink, are you going to stand strong on it? That's how you can identify if it's a value of yours or not. Is when it comes down to it and there's a challenging time where you're put right in the middle of everybody doing that same thing that is contrary to your values, can you stand up strong, look at them in the eye and say no? If you can't, then it's not a value. It's at least not one that you've internalized to be a solid foundation. And we need to have that foundation because you will be tested on your values. You will be challenged whether or not you truly believe what you're talking about. I'm challenged on a regular basis with just these concepts that I'm teaching with you guys. I get negative feedback, I get positive feedback, but I'm constantly challenged. And I have to check in with myself. Do I believe this? Is this something that I value? Is this something that I believe and want to implement in my life? And once I do, then I share it with you. So thank you for listening. Please share this. There's somebody who needs to know this right now, and you know that person. Please share it. And if you need or would like some personal mentoring, please contact me on my website. And I would love to sit down with you and work specifically on your challenges, on your struggles, so we can help move you forward so that you are finding the best and the greatest success you can have in your life. You find hope, help you to find passion, help you to find purpose, and help you to just learn to love life for who you are and where you're at. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. You are amazing.